Haridas from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vandita Gandharika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a valuable, beautiful association this morning. All glories to your services. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mata. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. Shashna Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasni Devidasi from Atlanta. Thank you, Shivani Mataji, for your warm welcoming, and thank you, Shama Gauri Mataji, for that very, very sweet Bhagavad Gita recitation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association. All glories to your services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Vinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association this morning. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome you all to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. I would like to share a Srila Prabhupadaji's quote before I hand over the call to Prabhuji. The difficulty is sometimes Krishna's Ashirwad, blessings. Maybe just the opposite. Krishna will take away, so at that time they become atheist. Tokyo, April 25th, 1972. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we're very fortunate to have His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhuji. Prabhuji will be enlightening us on the topic of the sacred vow of Margashirsha, session 15. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance, Prabhuji. Thank you for your valuable time in association. Waiting eagerly to hear from you. Please take over. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Shivani Mataji. Is my sound clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji, for that warm welcome. At the outset, I would like to welcome each and every devotee of Bhakti Sangha Japa group for this continuing session on the sacred vow of Margashirsha, where we are discussing the glorious 30 verses of Andal, which is known worldwide as Tirupavai. Of course, it's from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, but there are so many parallels that we can draw and the inspirations that we can draw and understand a further insight into Vrindavan and the mind of the gopis. So it's a very, very unique text that we are discussing. And it's very unique to see that in a sampradaya where it is always Aishwarya, in the mood of opulence and servantal worship, we see the mood of the gopis are brought in a very, very wonderful way. So this Madhurya Rasa is very much visible in these texts. And today it's going to be a big debate. And in that debate, we would see what the gopis are speaking amongst themselves and how they are waking up the eighth gopi who is fast asleep and have not joined them. Now, some of you might think that this has been going on for so long. From verse number 5 to verse number 15, 10 gopis, and every day we are waking up one gopi. When will this end? Of course, she is representing these 10 gopis as the 10 principal alvars who are there, and she's waking each and every one of them. So we have 3 more to go, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. So today we would be waking up the 8th gopi. But to wake up means to also enrich ourselves with the knowledge that Andal is giving through her brilliant, brilliant poetry. It's in the language of Tamil, but still it's worth to be noting each and every word because it is completely immersed with the Madhurya Rasa. So without further ado, we would see today's verse. And I would request today participation from all of you because there will be a lot of questions because there is going to be a transcendental debate and a discussion amongst the gopis. And when there is a transcendental debate and discussion among the gopis, devotees have to chip in, take their sides, and speak their mind. So with that, we will first ask the permissions from the acharyas, from our preceptors, from our spiritual master, and Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada to give us a ray of hope and to bless us so that we have understanding into these transcendental literatures. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunath Gangatam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत्. So, my dear devotees, once again, welcome to this ongoing session on the sacred vow of Margashirsha, where we are very scrutinizingly studying each and every verse which is given by none other than Andal. We all know the story because we have been repeating about this in every single session and giving us a recap. All the gopis of the southern part of India are now transported themselves into Vrindavan, and they are following in the footsteps of the Katyayani Vrata, taking inspiration from the gopis. Andal has gathered all her gopis together, and she is urging them to perform this Margashirsha month or Margai month's vow, which is to attain Krishna as their husband. And for that, they make a plan that they would all go to Yamuna river and take a bath and keep this vow for 1 month. So she lays down the conditions of the vrata, the purpose, the result, and finally they have a hidden desire in their heart of hearts that to attain Krishna as their husband. And as decided, they all meet the next day at the sacred spot in Vrindavan where they have pre-decided that they would meet, but they find out that 10 of their gopis are missing. Many urge Andal to move ahead and say that let's go ahead and take the bath, but Andal says never leave anyone behind. So she goes to each and every house and wakes up each and every gopi. And we see each and every gopi that she wakes up has a different mood, has a different character, and she is elevated in Krishna consciousness in a very different way. And no two gopis are the same. They have very different ways of serving Krishna. So we have seen that how, right from the newcomer, we have gone across all the gopis, and today we are now standing at the door of the 8th gopi who is fast asleep. We have 3 more gopis to come make the entire set of devotees and the gopis complete. So we are waiting at the door of the 8th gopi. Like all other verses, we'll be going through these 6 different dimensions, and each dimension would be taking us, it's like peeling one layer at a time and trying to learn more deeper into these verses. So with that, we will go ahead with today's verses. And today, first, we will talk about the context. We have already set the context. And then the context is we have the 8th gopi who is sleeping. 7 gopis have already joined. The 4,99,997 gopis are standing and waiting for the 8th gopi to join them. What is so special about this gopi? And the verse number 13 is speaking about this gopi, is that she is the most beautiful eyed gopi amongst all. That she has very beautiful eyes. Of course, Srimati Radharani has the most beautiful eyes. However, these gopis, they compare each other's beauty with a lot of similes and analogies. But amongst their group, they find that she has the most beautiful eyes. And how is her eyes beautiful? How are her eyes beautiful? That Andal is going to speak about it. But that is not the unique characteristic of this gopi. The unique characteristic of this gopi is, one second. Apologies. So the most important characteristic of this beautiful eyed gopi is that she attracts Krishna with her eyes. Krishna is so happy looking at her that Krishna always tries to take her association. And likewise, she always keeps Krishna in her eyes. So because of this, she is known amongst the Vraja Kumarikas as one of the most beautiful eyed gopis. What are the other characteristics that this girl who is sleeping inside has? Along with beautiful eyes, eyes are also known as chakshuhu, and we say shastra chakshu. She is also excellent in scriptures and knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And she is also an eloquent speaker. She ensures that today she will stir up a debate between Lord Ramchandra and Lord Krishna, talking about who is to be glorified. Now, this is an eternal question that we might be having right from the time we started these verses. Some of these verses have glorification of Lord Ramchandra. And there have been many times that the devotees of Bhakti Sangha Japa group have asked this question about the fact that why is it that in Vrindavan we are glorifying about Lord Ramchandra? This is not right. We should be glorifying about Krishna. This is important for us to know. And here, this girl is going to speak for, as if she's going to speak for all the Gaudiya devotees. Why are we speaking about Lord Ramchandra in Vrindavan? Why are we talking about the glories of Lord Rama when it is to be Krishna whom we are interested? Our deepest desire is to attain Krishna. So she is such an eloquent speaker that she stirs up a debate today between Rama and Krishna. And she has an intense desire to attain Krishna, but she is fast asleep. She is not making an effort. She finds a very beautiful bed which has been visited by Krishna in our house. And she finds a beautiful spot and she lies down there and enjoys the fragrance of tulsis and the sandalwood pulp which was smeared on the body of Krishna. And when she's again tried to woken up by Andal, she asks for what are the clear signs of dawn? How do I know that the sun has risen? Now, some of you might say, oh no, we are going back to the previous verses. So many gopis have asked for these identifications. And sometimes Andal has said the birds are chirping. Sometimes she said the conches are blowing in the temples. She has also mentioned about how the yogis are woken up, how the Sankirtan is happening, how people are chanting japa, as various different indications of that the sun has risen, the morning duties have commenced. But she doesn't believe in all of them because she says these are all secondary identification. There is no direct identification that the sun has risen in the horizon and we have to do our morning duties and we have to go for taking bath. So she is a very, very apt person to debate, and she is going to put all her arguments. And she needs a lot of extra motivation from the gopis who are standing at her doorstep to wake her up. So seems like an almost a daunting task, an impossible task to wake her up and tell her to join the 4,99,997 gopis and go together to the shores of Yamuna to take a bath. What to do? And that's where Andal comes to the rescue. Andal has an answer for every single thing. She's expert in answering all the things. And here she is. She is going to ensure that she is going to wake up this girl as well. And that is where the verse number 13 comes to picture. And here is the verse. Pullin vai kirandanai pulla varakkanai killik kalaindanai kirthimai paadippoi pillaigal ellarum pavai kalampugar velli எழுந்து வியாயமுறங்கித்து புல்லும் சிலம்பினகான் போதாரக் கண்ணினாய் புல்லக் குளிர் குடைந்து நீராதாதே பள்ளிக் கிடத்தியோ பாவாய் நின்னானாலால் கல்லந்தவிந்து கலந்தேலோ ரெம்பாவாய். A very beautiful verse in the language of Tamil. However, let's jump into the word by word, verse by verse translation. As I said in the previous verse, there was glorification of Lord Ramchandra. Andal mentioned to the Gopi that how Lord Ramchandra was victorious over Ravana. How he very effortlessly killed Ravana. He shot an arrow and they were singing the glories of Lord Rama. And now this girl heard this and she said, I'm not going to wake up. My internal desire is to achieve Krishna as my husband. And when I have an internal desire to achieve Krishna as an husband, why should I come when you are glorifying Lord Ramchandra? So for that reason, Andal says this verse. Pullin vai kidandanai pollavarakkanai. Now she says all glories to Krishna. Now when she says all glories to Krishna, this girl is giving an ear from inside. And what does she say? All glories to that Krishna who saved himself. And he split in twain the mouth of that crane. Who is the crane? Whose beaks Krishna tore? Anybody on the call? They know the name of the crane?
Bakasur?
Bakasura. Absolutely right. So she's mentioning that all glories to Krishna who broke the beaks, who tore up the beaks, who split the beaks into two halves. All glories to that Krishna. And this girl is giving an ear. And at the same vein, she says, and all glories to Lord Ramchandra. What did he do? He just sportingly pinched out, as if one is pinching out tender buds. Like sometimes you go to a garden and you find some tender buds and leaves. You just effortlessly, with ease, you will just pluck them and throw them. You don't need a lot of effort. You don't need to have strong biceps. You don't need to have a large amount of strength to just pluck and throw these tender buds. So Andal is saying, just like how a person or a child would pick up some leaves or pluck some leaves or some tender buds from the garden and would just throw it away, in a similar way, the 10 heads of Ravana were just plucked and thrown down into the dust. By whom? Lord Ramchandra. It did not take a lot of effort for him. Now she is like, you started with Krishna, but you are ending it with Rama. Why is that so? We are in Nanda Vraja. We are Nanda Vraja Kumarikaha. We are Vraja Kumarikaha. We are the gopis of Vrindavan. You please sing the glories of Krishna.
Radhe Radhe Hare Krishna.
Please don't sing the glories of Lord Ramchandra. And when this was spoken, a debate started rising up amongst the gopis outside. Some of them said, why not Ramachandra? He's the most beautiful to look at. What does Krishna do, or how is his glory is greater than Lord Ramchandra? Lord Ramchandra, for one woman, he went all the way to Lanka and protected her and won over Ravana. And now there was another group of devotees who were supporters of Krishna. They said, what are you talking about, Lord Rama? When a girl came to him and said that, I really love you, why don't you marry me? He told his brother to cut her nose, cut her ears, and send her away. Who was this girl? Whose nose was cut? Whose ears were cut?
Surpanaga.
Shurpanakha.
Shurpanakha. So he said, how is this Ramchandra? One woman he protected, another woman he literally punished. But Krishna, we are all women, we are asking for Krishna. If we go to Ramchandra, maybe he will cut our nose. So we want Krishna. The other person said, but look at Lord Ramchandra. He is so nice that for following his father's orders, he went to the forest. The other faction said, this is the problem. It's all patriarchal always. Look at our Krishna. He always obeys his mother Yashoda. Of course, he obeys Nanda Baba also. And we know when Devaki said, please hide your two arms, he immediately hid it. So one is Pitru Vakya Paripalan, one is Matru Vakya Paripalan. And the gopis said, look at Krishna. He is so approachable. He is playing along with us. So he is greater. So in this way, an transcendental debate started rising up there. And Andal was thinking, first I have to solve the debate outside, then I have to solve the debate inside. And she said, let me tell you, both of them are same. Rama and Krishna are same. And the girl inside says, prove it to me. And of course, we are going to say, how? How? Andal is going to prove that Lord Ramchandra and Krishna, in the sense that both are the same Supreme Lord. And how Krishna previously in the previous Yuga took the avatar as Lord Ramchandra. So this is going to be showcased in the verses to come. And then she says that it's already time after establishing this truth. How she will establish, we'll see during the verse. She says that all our companions, all the gopis have already reached and you are late. And she says, if I am late, tell me what are the signs that the sun has risen. And Andal says, I have explained it to 8 different gopis. Now you want to hear it as well. So let me tell you that the Venus has risen and the Jupiter is setting. It is going to sleep. And the birds, they are twittering. Oh, this girl said, oh, I've heard about this birds twittering. You have already spoken about it in previous verses. The birds were all sitting on the Madhavi pine vine. The birds were Pullum Silambinagan. They were actually tittering, chattering. They are saying to each other, I've heard this many times. So she says, yes, but now each time it is different. I'll tell you, but the birds are twittering and they have all come together. And you have such beautiful eyes. We have not come together with Krishna, but you are holding him in your eyes. She says, what about my eyes? She's very proud of her eyes. What about my eyes? She says, your eyes are like lotus flowers. And that blackish retina that you have inside your eyes, they are like the bumblebees. And when we look at your eyes, they are like lotus flowers, and the eyes within your retina moves left, right, and center. They are like bumblebees moving inside that lotus flower. And when you look at something, it is like the deer giving us a very lovely look. So you're very beautiful in your eyes, and I'm very sure Krishna is attracted by your eyes. So instead of having a cool, refreshing bath, and she says, why should I take a cool, refreshing bath? Why can't I put a heater? Why can't I take a hot water bath? She says, already we are suffering in separation from Krishna. So the heat is too much. To cool down this heat of separation, we need to take a cool, refreshing bath. So let's go to Yamuna. It's like ice. And when we dip inside those waters, it's cool and our teeth are chattering and they are clattering against each other. But that will all make us forget this separation from Krishna. And what if we see Krishna on the Yamuna shore? All our sorrows will be drained. And we will not drown in these sorrows. So let's go and have a cool and refreshing bath. Why are you still lying on that bed? Oh girl, who are so nice with such beauty, why don't you get up? And on this auspicious day, she says, how come it is auspicious? Because we have all assembled to go to Krishna. The day we do Nam Sankirtan, the day we start doing Japa, the day we go towards Krishna consciousness, the day we are looking towards Krishna, that day is an auspicious day. You don't need to find a muhurta, you don't need to find the time, you do not need to find the place, circumstances. That day is a very wonderful day. So today is an auspicious day. Why are you lying in that bed? Get up and remove your shyness and join us and share your bliss with us, which is enjoying with Krishna and capturing him in your lotus-like eyes. So this is the verse she's speaking about, and she's referring to the beautiful eye of the gopi. But the first half is very, very important. And the first half is where we will have the transcendental debate, and that is where the Acharya commentary comes into place. What is the first verse? She speaks about how Krishna is so wonderful. And we hear this in this verse. Can others be on mute? So she's going to speak about how Krishna is wonderful. Why? Because there was an objection raised in the previous verse. In the previous verse, it was raised that you are always glorifying Lord Ramchandra, and we are interested in Krishna. So she says, Pullin vai kidandanai, pollavarakkanai, killik kilandanai, kirtimai padipoi. So where you put the comma is very important. So if we take the first two words, Pullin vai kidandanai, that means one who has, we go back, one who has split the beaks of the crane called as Bakasura. So she is utilizing this word of beaks, how the beaks were broken by Krishna. Now, my dear devotees, we have heard this pastime many, many times. And we know that Bakasura stands for pretentiousness. He pretended as if he is a very noble soul, but he gobbled up Krishna. When he got the scent of Krishna and Krishna made himself attractive, that the crane thought, I will just gobble him up. And Bakasura gobbled him up. So can someone tell me what happened next? My first question is was Bakasura successful at the first attempt of gobbling Krishna? How does the pastime go? Anyone? Anyone remembers? How does the pastime go? So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, text number 50 of chapter number 11 of the childhood pastimes of Krishna, Sukdev Goswami says, Tam talumulam pradakam tagnivat gopala sunnam pitaram jagat guru chardadda sadyo tirushakshatam bakas tunde nahantum punarabhyapadyata. Krishna, who was the father of Lord Brahma, but who was acting as a son of coward man, became like fire burning the root of demon's throat. So what happened is that Bakasura, he immediately gobbled up Krishna and he swallowed him. And Krishna went up to his throat inside. He was not standing at the mouth of the Bakasura demon. He went up to the throat. And then what did he do? Just like we get acid refluxes, Krishna started generating heat. And that's what he's saying, was acting as became like fire. So Krishna became like fire, burning the root of the demon's throat. And then the demon, Bakasura, thought, oh, this is a lot of fire. He immediately died, immediately disgorged him. He started picking Krishna up. And when he disgorged Krishna, and the demon saw that Krishna, although having been swallowed, even though he swallowed, and now Krishna was right in front of him because he kind of threw up, he kind of disgorged him. And he was there unharmed. He immediately tried to attack Krishna with his sharp beaks. Now, my dear devotees, pause here. Why did Krishna generate heat inside the throat? Prabhuji, this is in the past time. Why are you asking such questions? If he generated heat, he generated heat. Any answers, my dear devotees? Why did Krishna generate heat in the throat of Bakasura? Why couldn't he? This is a question that when he was getting swallowed by Bakasura, Why couldn't he just break the beaks then? Why he has to go inside the teeth, inside the throat, then generate heat, then he has to be spat out, and after being spat out, then when he tries to attack, he breaks the beaks. Why this heat pastime in between? Any
Prabhuji,
wild
can I
guesses?
make an attempt? I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm
please
correct.
go ahead. There are no right or
Prabhuji,
wrong answers.
I mean, I'm just guessing it.
Hmm.
Prabhuji, by generating heat, he burned away his anarthas and all these wrong, his evil tendencies. And by spitting out, by after burning, he got kind of purified, and so he could see Krishna in front of him. I don't know if I'm correct.
Then if he got purified, why would he attack?
Yeah,
Then
that's
after
true.
seeing him, he attacked again.
Hmm.
So the heat was not for the anarthas.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. I was kind of guessing it.
No problem. Good guess. Anybody
Hare
else?
Krishna Prabhu. I'm also
Yes.
trying to attempt Prabhu. I think it's to make it tender, practically. The heat makes substance
Exactly.
tender.
Very nice. When we produce more heat, it is more easy to tear. Of course, Krishna does not need any of these efforts. Krishna is so wonderfully equipped and he has his innate strength by which he doesn't need to put an effort or make it heat it up in such a way that he needs to tear, but it's just a pastime. And he just heats up the throat because he's now going to split it wide open. It's more easier, It's more easier when you apply heat to tear up something. If you can't tear up a leather or you can't tear up a paper, you just heat it up a little and give it a try. Already the molecules are broken, the bonds are broken. So in that way, he broke it up. He broke the beaks into two. And Shukdev Goswami does not finish there. He says, Tamapatantam sa nihrga tundayo dhorbyam bakam kamsa sakham satam pati pashyatsu baleshu dadara leelaya mudavaho viranvat divau kasam. He says that Viranavat, how did Krishna actually break the beaks? Just like a child splits a blade of Virana grass. It was like a child's play for Krishna. And in the presence of all coward boys, Krishna very easily bifurcated Bakasura just like a child would split a blade of Virana grass. So Andal is using that. Andal is saying for Krishna, such efforts are, such activities are so effortless. And this is how Krishna has killed Bakasura. And this girl inside, she is hearing to all of this. And when she is hearing to all of this, she says, that's fine. Yeah, this is my Krishna. And then she immediately says, for the other faction who is standing and debating that Lord Ramchandra is wonderful, they're saying that the same Lord Ramchandra also, just like how a child would nip away the buds and unwanted leaves in a garden, in a similar way, the 10 heads of Ravana were plucked and thrown down in dust. Pollavarakkanai. Arakkan means one who is very notorious as a Rakshasa. There is Rakshasa and there is Asura. Rakshasas are different, Asuras are different. One comes from the Heti Praheti clan, one comes from the Dithi Kashyapa clan. So in this way, both are different. And she is very careful in using the word Ravana was killed. The notorious king Ravana was killed. Why was he notorious? Of course, he stole away Mother Sita. So in this way, she compares both of them. But she says Rama made it very effortless. Within no minute, he killed Ravana. Now, my dear devotees, how many of you believe that Lord Ramchandra did it effortlessly? Please be honest with yourself. If everybody has read the Ramayana, everybody has heard the Ramayana, it took such a gigantic effort to cross over the ocean, to ensure that so many Vanaras are brought together and they are at Lanka, and 7 days of battle, killing killing Kumbhakarna, taking Vibhishana amongst them, killing Ravana. It was a 7 day battle as if there was no other way. And so much efforts were put to kill Ravana. But why do we say that he was very effortlessly killed? And the answer is given in Valmiki Ramayana itself. Sugriva said that, Lord Rama, I think that Vibhishana should not be given shelter. And he said, why Vibhishana cannot be given the shelter? Anybody who falls at my feet, I will give the shelter. It is my duty. I am duty bound to give shelter to anyone who is actually falling at my lotus feet. I will give shelter to all of them. And Sugriva said, look, I will give you a brief history of these three personalities. The first personality is Ravana. He prayed to Lord Brahma that he should have no death. And when Brahma said, this is a vow, that this is a boon that I cannot give. Everybody who is born in this world undergoes death. So I can't give you this. So then Ravana said, I should not be killed by Yavanas, Kimpurushas, Chanaras, Lokas. He named a lot of people, but he skipped the humans. And because of that, Lord Ramchandra took the form of a human and took the help of the Vanaras and came and killed Ravana. So he wanted to be immortal, but he was killed. Now, the second personality was Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna thought that why should I ask like Ravana? I will ask Brahma something which is very intelligent. And everybody was waiting and watching what is Kumbhakarna going to ask. Kumbhakarna said, why should I go to the battle first? Why should I pick up my weapon? Why should I fight with the Devas? Why should I start fighting with them and then achieve victory? It is better to just ask for a boon that in this entire cosmic manifestation, there should be no demigods. If Brahma says Tathastu and Brahma says there are no demigods, my goal is achieved. Only if there are demigods, this Vishnu will come and protect. But if I ask for a boon that let there be no demigods from tomorrow, then my goal is achieved. I don't even have to go and fight. So his original plan was Nirdevatvam. Nirdevatvam means that there be no devas in the whole cosmic manifestation. So all the devatas, they got very afraid that this guy, if he asks this boon, then we will not be there anymore. So they requested Saraswati to go and sit on his tongue. And when he spoke out Nirdevatvam, he actually spelt it as Nidrevatvam. Please give me only sleep. And Brahma said, Tathastu. Thank you so much for your slip of tongue. You can eat with your tongue and you can sleep with your tongue out. So Nirdevatvam become Nidrevatvam. So please give me sleep. So Kumbhakarna went like that. And Kumbhakarna was still thinking, what did I ask for? What did I came for? And what did I get? He went to sleep. Now the third personality was Vibhishana. And people were thinking, what will Vibhishana ask? The two brothers have already asked such difficult boons, and we had to take a one step ahead and work towards it. What is Vibhishana going to ask? But Vibhishana's boon, which he asked to Lord Brahma, was so wonderful. He said that, let me be blessed to be in the righteous path, always following dharma, always following the right way, and let me not be intimidated by anything. Even if there are millions of difficulties that come my way, I should not go away from the path of dharma. And Brahma said, wonderful, Tathastu, and I bless you that you will become a Chiranjeevi, you will never die. Ravana said, objection. When I asked for being a Chiranjeevi, immortal, you said not possible, you can't give. But this person is asking for the same boon in a different way. You said, let you be Chiranjeevi. So this is partiality. Why are you not giving it to me? And you are giving it to my younger brother, younger brother Vibhishana? Brahma said, it is not in my power to give immortality, but I can bless for immortality. Blessing need not have so much of spiritual power. So I am blessing you that by the grace of Krishna, by the grace of Lord Ramchandra, you will be always on the path of dharma. So this was very wonderful. This was very great. So in this way, Sugriva said, so this Vibhishana is actually very, very apt person. And Rama said, this is his history. This is his wonderful history. Sugriva, so you should not think. If I wish, I don't even need Vibhishan. I don't even need your army. I don't need anybody. Angulyena matrena, it's actually a verse in Srimad Ramayana where he says, with the tip of my nail, I can kill all the citizens of this entire cosmic manifestation at my will. I don't even need this bow and arrow. I don't even need to cross the ocean. I don't need to go anywhere. I can just, by the tip of this nail, I can kill anybody that I want. Of course, he is mentioning about his previous avatara, which is of Lord Nrsimhadev. Lord Nrsimhadev was so quick to appear. He appeared, he fought, he killed, he heard the pastimes and the prayers of Prahlada, he did Abhishek, and he left. Everything was so quick. When we compare to Lord Ramchandra, it took 7 days. So actually this verse that Andal is saying that he plucked and it was done in such an ease should be applied to Nrsimhadev. But she says to Lord Ramchandra. But Sugriva says, my dear Lord, I have an objection. What is the objection? The objection is that you are saying all this, but you didn't do this. You took all of us. You can kill him by yourself. You don't need to get down from Vaikuntha as itself, but you took all of us. And Rama says that I took all of you, hoping that getting intimidated by all of you, at least he will fall at my feet. Just like for a lecture to be popular, the more the number of audience, it gives a proof that maybe the lecture is good. Or the more the claps, one might feel that the lecture was appreciated. Or the more the people share and speak about it, then one will feel that, okay, maybe it has reached its audience. So similarly, when there are more people at his doorstep to fight, maybe he would get a little intimidated and he would say that maybe I cannot fight and he will fall at my feet. I actually were gathering all of you just in the hope that Ravana would surrender unto me. So Sugriva understood that Lord Rama is such a great personality. But still, when Lord Rama was fighting, he did not kill Ravana in a go. He sent so many people to make him understand. He first sent Hanuman, then through Sita, then through Angada, then through Mandodari, then through Malyavan, his father-in-law, and finally Rama himself said, you go today and come tomorrow. So many people instructed Ravana to give up. When he did not, then Rama actually shot an arrow and killed. So the girl who is sleeping inside is saying, what are you talking about? Rama did not just pluck his 10 heads with ease. He took such a big effort. And that is where Andal's greatness comes in this verse. Where you put comma in this verse is the most important. If you read the first line completely, Pullin vai kidandanai polla varakkanai. Actually, Lord Ramchandra was sitting on the chariot and he was shooting one arrow and the fight was going on. And the Rama and Ravana's fight was going on in such a way that the time was just moving and Ravana was not getting hurt. Then Hanuman flew immediately and whispered something in the ears of Lord Ramchandra. When he heard that, he immediately took up his bow and arrow and started shooting arrows at a very vigorous pace and killed Ravana within seconds. So everybody was dumbstruck. What did actually Hanuman say in the ears of Lord Ramchandra that he increased his valor and killed off Ravana within minutes, which he was not doing it for even 7 days. And some of the devotees, Kamban says that he actually went and said this verse, Pullin vai kidandanai, pulla varakkanai. What does this mean? He said that the wonderful beaks of the bird were smashed by this cruel king. Now, which beaks are he talking about? The beaks of Jatayu. This first two words, Andal was using it for Krishna, but in a hidden way, she is also using it for Lord Ramchandra's pastimes. She's saying the cruel king called as Ravana, he actually shattered the beaks of the beautiful beaked, the beautiful voiced Jatayu, who is like a father to you, Rama. Don't you remember? He's the one who killed Jatayu. And when Rama heard this from Hanuman, he immediately said, my devotee was killed by you, and I'm going to send you to Yamaraj. And hence he took this weapon, hence he took this arrow. Now, how many of you can see the photo? And there is an arrow, a Chandrakala. Why this kind of arrow is used by Lord Ramchandra? The Acharyas give a commentary to that as well. The Lord used this arrow to kill Ravana, because when you want to catch somebody's neck, you will make your hand like this. This is the shape. Want to catch somebody's head. So similarly, the Lord saying, you killed my devotee, I'm going to use this arrow as if they are the noose of Yamaraj, and I'm going to throw you into hell. The Lord uses such an arrow to catch hold of the neck of Ravana. My dear devotees, the question asked here is about Krishna, and here she is talking all about Lord Ramchandra, because she is saying that both the personalities are same. It was Krishna who came as Lord Rama. It is Krishna. Once Mother Yashoda took Krishna on the lap and she started saying, once there was a king called as Rama. And Krishna said, yes. And then he had a wife named Sita. And Krishna says, yes, yes. And Sita was, and Krishna was getting sleepy as Mother Yashoda was saying this. And then she said, and Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. At that time, Krishna opened his eyes and said, Lakshmana, get the bow, get the bow, get the bow. And he went to sleep. So this is how Krishna, he depicts that he is the same Lord Ramchandra. And she says that, hence, let's not have this debate. It's the same Lord. But of course, Krishna is more beautiful. Krishna is so wonderful to see. Even the Munis, they have left their japa, they have left their Vedic Shastras, they have left their studies just to adore the beauty of Krishna. And for that reason, Pillaigal ellarum pavai kalampukar, we have all gathered at the sacred place. And now the girl is interested. Oh, she has glorified Krishna, she has glorified Rama, and now she has made a truce between both of them are the same. So this is so wonderful. This is so great. Let me hear more. But she posed a question. She asks a question. But what is the proof that the sun has risen? She says, let me tell by astrology now, the Venus has risen and the Jupiter has slept. Now she doesn't use the word set. Generally you say the sun has risen and the sun has set. Because it is poetry and she wants to use only glorious, auspicious words, setting, dying, healing. If you see, none of her poetry has these cruel words. She will always say, Ravana's heads were pinched. She will never say, chopped off. She doesn't want her poetry to be tainted with blood, gore, ghastly things. She uses words which drive the meaning, but at the same time, it makes the listener understand what she is trying to say. So she's saying that the Venus has risen and the Jupiter has slept. Now, these are astrological signs of saying how the sun has risen in the east and how the morning has been awakened. So when she says this, the girl from inside says, what are you talking about? These are planets and I can't see such planets. by naked eye. This is only by calculation, and with a telescope, maybe you can see these planets, that the Venus, Shukran, has actually risen and the Jupiter has set. All these are only possible with different tools to be seen. So hence I don't believe this. Then she says, let me give you a secondary identification. Don't you see the birds? The birds are chirping. Oh, the beautiful eyed gopi, the birds are chirping. She says, I've heard about this birds chirping quite a lot. You said that in various different verses to the different gopis. What is so different here? She says, the difference is that first time when I mentioned the birds are chirping, they were getting up. And when they got up, they were chirping to each other. The second time when I mentioned that the birds were chirping, they were telling, the male bird was telling the female bird, I'm going to go out and search for prey, search for worms, search for food. And at that time, they were chirping. Now they are at the site where they have found food, and after finding food, they are happy and they are all together. They are having the food together, and hence they are chirping. So you are so late. You didn't wake up when they chirped, when they woke up. You didn't wake up when they went for search for food. Now they have found food and they are all together, but you have not still woken up. And this answer gave me a lot of solace, because one question which was going on in my mind, some weeks back, Kirtida Sundari Mataji asked this question. And Kirtida Mataji asked this question, were all these gopis woken up on the same day or different days? And this actually gives the answer. It was the same day. Because she's speaking about all the three different kinds of birds chirping. The one which woke up, the one which went to search for food, and the one, now the food and people are on, all the birds are together. But what does that mean for this gopi? She says, so what? She's saying, even the birds are together. Why are we not together? Why can't we be together with Krishna? Oh, beautiful eyed gopi, please wake up. Your eyes are like a flower, and the retina is like a bumblebee. And in another way, if I have to say, your eyes are like a flower, and all other flowers are envious of your eyes. And when you look at someone, it's resembling the deer. Let us please get up. She says, why should I get up? What am I supposed to do? And Andal says, let's go and take a cold bath. Ice cold bath. In fact, in the Ramayana, in Panchavati, near Panchavati, Lord Rama, during this month of Margashirsha, he gets up and goes to take bath in the ice cold waters of Godavari. And when he is about to take the bath, Lakshmana says, this is very cold. Lord Rama, if this is very cold, we are further in the midlands of India, of Bharatavarsha. How will it be in the north? How cold our Sarayu river will be, and how cold it will be for Bharata to take bath every day, early morning in such a river. This is spoken by Lakshmana. And Rama says, it is very apt that one should take bath in cold waters, because it will quench all the heat of separation from Krishna. My Bharata is away from me for 14 years and he cannot tolerate it. So it's only apt that he takes bath in the cold waters of Sarayu. For him, it is a solace. And similarly for me, it is a solace. I'm remembering about Bharata. So he's saying, let's take cold bath. And this beautiful verse is also mentioned in Ananda Vrindavan Champu by our Gaudiya Acharyas. How the gopis early morning, they are just walking towards Yamuna in the Katyayani Vrata. And it's so cold that when they breathe, there is smoke which is coming out. The air, because it's hot, it's making as if there is a smoke. And their teeth are so white in nature, and they are tattering against each other. And the bumblebees, they are so attracted by such lotus-eyed gopis, and the bumblebees are just fluttering around those eyes, and their wings are buzzing around. Bzzz. It's the cold wind, and the buzzing of the wings of the bumblebee is making further chillness for the gopis, and they are all tattering their teeth, and they are singing Krishna's name as they tatter their teeth. And all this is wonderfully mentioned in the Ananda Vrindavan Champu. How the gopis, they took their every single step. And the same is mentioned here by the gopis, that please, by Andal, that let us take bath. She says, where are we going to take bath? And Andal says, let's take bath in the ocean of qualities. There are a lot of qualities between an ocean and Krishna, which is same. Yamuna is like an ocean. We will take bath there. How do you compare an ocean and Krishna in the same way? First, she says that an ocean is bottomless. Similarly, Krishna's qualities are immeasurable in nature. Not only that, an ocean's water is salty, but when the clouds take those water from the ocean and pour it on us, it is such a sweet water. Similarly, to achieve the Lord directly is so difficult. But when the cloud, like acharyas, take the qualities of the Lord and shower it upon us as rain, as blessings, it is so sweet. You can go to the ocean again and again, it is never boring. People go every day to the ocean, take a jog, take a walk, because it's so refreshing. Similarly, Krishna is so refreshing. And it is not that the rain completes the ocean. Ocean is complete by itself. Similarly, Krishna is independent and he is complete by himself. He does not depend by anyone. The ocean gives nectar. From churning the ocean, we got nectar. Similarly, the Lord is like an ocean. He gives nectar to the devotees by his darshan. When the moon comes, the tide rises. And when similarly Purna Chandra, like pure devotees of the Lord, when they come, then the tide of love rises and it overflows for everyone. We can see the ocean and enjoy. Similarly, in his deity form, we can see the deity form of Krishna and we can enjoy. There are many fishes, turtles, whales, sharks, which are inside the ocean. But if you try to throw some trash into the ocean, it will throw it back. But it will not throw a turtle or a whale or somebody outside. It will shelter himself. Similarly, if we have ego and we try to approach the Lord, it will be thrown back, just like Ravana was thrown into the dust. But those who are sheltered, pure devotees of the Lord, they are always sheltered under the ocean, like qualities of Krishna. So she says, how can you, after hearing so many qualities of Krishna, so many glories of Krishna, how can you be still sleeping inside? Oh, beautiful eyed one. Open the door. Let us all come together. Don't close your eyes. Don't close your door. Open them up. The debate is also settled. It's the same Krishna. It's the same Lord Ramchandra. They both are same personality. However you read the shloka, you can use it for Krishna, you can use it for Rama. So in this way, she settled the transcendental debate and she said, let us all glorify and please mix along with us. Come together. Don't try to enjoy him alone. Be together with devotees and come along with us. And when she says and gives these esoteric meanings, an esoteric way, Andal welcomes the beautiful eyed gopi also along with her. And she also joins and becomes 4,99,998 gopis are now assembled. Only 2 are left. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see this connection of the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun. 2.3.17, a very famous verse. Ayur harati vai pumsan udyan ashtam chayanasau tasyarte yat shanonita uttama shloka vartaya. It's very important that to know that the rising and setting of the sun decreases the duration of everyone, except for that personality who sings such glories of the Lord, who utilizes this time to join these classes, to utilizes this time to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavad Gita, and the topics of all good personality of Godhead. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in verse Canto 9, 10:23, we saw it last time, how Lord Ramchandra, after rebuking Ravana, fixed an arrow and aimed at Ravana and released the arrow. So this is what she is saying, how the 10 heads of Ravana were pinched and thrown. In 10.11.53, Muktam Bakashyat Upalabhya Bhalaka Ramadaya Pranam Vivendriyogana Stanagatam Tam Parirabhya Nivrita Praniya Vatsan Vrajametya Takjugu. Just as the senses are pacified when consciousness and life return, so when Krishna was freed from this danger, all the boys, including Balrama, thought that their life had been restored because Krishna was disgorged again. They embraced Krishna in good consciousness and they collected their own calves and returned to Brajbhumi, where they declared the incident loudly. And here, when the incident loudly is being mentioned, this whole pastime has been turned into a song. And Srila Prabhupada writes that it is a practice in Braja that all these pastimes are turned into songs and they are sung widely amongst all. So all the coward boys, they started singing Bakasura's killing. So this is also mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, like how we saw that there was a mention of how the child plucks the Vitarna glass, similarly Krishna, and it is the same, she takes inspiration from there and uses these verses here. In the Gauriya inspirations, we see that Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis, verse number 2. And Krishna has many names. He's called as Rama, Govinda, Mukunda, Murari, Hari. And through that, he has expanded himself. And he has invested all these potencies in those names. So when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are taking the names of Lord Rama. Ramayate iti Rama, we are taking the names of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned this. Ram means Balaram, Lord Ramchandra, and Krishna. So it is addressing Krishna. It is addressing Balarama. It is addressing Lord Ramchandra. And in this way, we can see that it is Krishna who is all the same. So my dear devotees, this is how Andal tries to settle the debate. Now let us enter into the sixth dimension, which is pictorial treatise. Please unmute yourself, and one by one, you can mention about what do you see in the left side of the picture. Quickly.
Killing of Bakasura. The very first was
Bakasura, yeah.
pulling by Silambinakal.
Yes, he is breaking the beaks of the crane Bakasura, and on one on the top.
That is Ravana.
Ravana.
Killed by Rama, and this girl, she is going.
Okay.
Means Andal is going, knocking the door.
And what else can you talk about the atmosphere, the girls here?
They're going to take a bath.
It's early morning, and the birds.
Early morning, yeah, going to the river.
Birds, and what else do you see?
The stars.
What is it? The star? She says the Venus has risen. The star, Venus, has risen in the horizon. So she gives that as well. And she's showing two factions of gopis, one debating for Rama and one debating for Krishna. What do you see on the right?
It's Hanuman.
It's the bird crane, Bakasura crane. Yeah, the Bakasura.
And Ravana was just pinched like this, throwing Ravana away.
Yeah, there's Ravana on the door.
Yes.
And there is a parrot that is.
You also see the half moon here, which is to say the night has passed. Now it is time to wake up. It's time to wake up. I don't know what pastime this is. There are so many pastimes to mention. Quickly on the left. You can see this as the beak of Bakasura. This is the eyes of Bakasura. And in the same way,
Rama is there.
And the 10
It is there with the bow. And that is Ravana's 10 heads. And this is Krishna holding lotus.
And
you know,
Gopika is like,
this
Yeah.
girl's eyes are like lotus.
Correct. And she's thinking about Krishna.
And
Same-
Ravana's heads are there also. Is this
Yes.
Ravana's heads?
Which one?
These
are
just
heads.
yeah, that's
heads of,
I
yeah.
was talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, heads of Ravana. Correct. Here we see how he came and was through Aghasura,
In the
as
past time.
Bakasura, and various different childhood pastimes of Krishna is being mentioned here, and Bakasura is shown here. Last one. So this is also very wonderful, where the Gopi is saying that you are the Supreme Lord, and she's enjoying the Supreme Lord.
But there is a chain on Narayan, and there the Gopi is sitting, and it looks like she is swinging because
In
the
fact,
Lord is.
yeah, in fact, what she's trying to say is that it's the same Lord. Sometimes the king sits on the throne. Sometimes the king disguises himself and appears amongst the public. Sometimes the king appears in programs and mingles with the people. And sometimes he comes to your own home and eats food. So it's the same king who plays these differently. So, in other words, she's saying that Ranganath, Lord Ranganatha, who is lying down in Srirangam, is none other than Krishna himself, who has appeared as in the deity form. So Keshav has shown the Lord as Ranganatha, or the Lord in various different places or the temples where he is non-different from the Lord himself. So he's trying to make a point that the Lord is non-different from his different avatars, and he's non-different from his deity form. So with that, we come to a conclusion of the 13th verse as well, which is to say she's the most beautiful eyed Gopi. And the next lecture, we will see ourselves on the doorstep of the 9th Gopi, and she's going to be an eloquent speaker. Thank you very, very much. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidbham satpurayantu tat yadatra saushtubam kinchit tatguru revame nahi. Whatever errors are there in this service, may the learned souls who have been attending this correct this. And whatever good is found here belongs to my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, and not to me. Thank you very, very much. Any questions, comments, clarifications, feedbacks? More than happy to answer them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Haridas, Varya Prabhuji. Thank you
Hare
for a
Krishna.
very, very beautiful class. Absolutely beautiful. The way you narrate the story is so captivating. Thank you for a very interactive class and for the beautiful PPT as always. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or realizations, please go ahead and share. Alanda Prabhuji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mata. Danvat pranam to all. Prabhuji, very nice class today. Each time we get so much insight in the Shastra like that. My reflection was, you were mentioning about Ayur Harti Vaipunsam. Similarly, there is a beautiful saying says, Etad hi atur chittana matra sparse chaya muhu bhava sindhu plavo drashto hari charya anuvarnanam. We are all very eager to make our senses come in contact with that matra sparsa, sense objects. But this bhava sindhu plavo, the boat is haricharya anuvarnanam. So as long as we are in Andal Katha and all Krishna Katha, we'll be able to pass over the Bhava Sindhu. This is what my realization, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Haribo.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you for quoting that verse.
Haribo.
Krishna's lotus feet is like Bhavat Potam. It is like a beautiful boat. And these pastimes are the ones which makes us live every second of the day. Tava katamritam tapta jivanam is what the gopis are saying. Tava katamritam. Bhuridajana, all glories to such great personalities like Andal, great acharyas, and commentaries by which we are able to get a glimpse into these pastimes. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for that quote. Any other questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Is there anybody else who would like to share their
Very beautiful class, Prabhuji. No questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, if no questions, back to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I would like to thank His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhuji for his valuable time and association this morning. Thank you for a very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Looking forward to next Friday. I would like to pay my obeisances to His Grace Haridas Prabhuji and all the assembled devotees. Do I have your permission to close the call, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Pancha
Hare
kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu evacha patita nam pavnebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Samasta
Kripa
Vaishnavinda
sindhu
ki jai.
nam
Srila
pavane
Prabhupada ki jai.
vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Her Grace
Thank you.
Haridas Varya Prabhuji ki
His Grace
jai.
Haridas Varya Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai
Thank
Srila
you,
Prabhupada.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
dear
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.